tell you, but take two. So I'm actually a huge wrestling fan. But when I was growing up, I really didn't like wrestling as much because my cousins used to come over. We used to have sleepovers, and when we would go to the video store, like they would always get like like wrestling events with like matches and stuff, and it was boring to me. I didn't like it. Over the years, I developed an appreciation for for those wrestling matches, and pretty much watch them for nostalgia's sake on thanks to WWE Network or Peacock. When I got older, I realized that it wasn't because I wasn't necessarily into the matches, but it was because I didn't watch the weekly show, and so I didn't know any of the storylines. So that's how I would imagine that people who aren't really into comics, look at like the movies that like movies that we've been watching for years. Like when they come out, like they just don't understand. So it's like you can't appreciate Infinity War and Endgame. Like they think that they're like why do you care so much about just about a movie? It's like if you're into it, like the history. It's like it's more than just a movie to me. I'm not talking about the haters. There are people who just don't like popular things because they're popular and won't allow for the rest of us to enjoy things that we really like. Today, I'm still a wrestling fan. Maybe not on the level that I was as a kid, but like every time Hulk Hogan's music hit, that going near blew up. I still love it though. And the matches are better now because the guys that are in it, they're just more athletic. Wrestling back in the day, it's a bunch of guys with dad bods, it's like Jake the Snake and others. They were good wrestlers, but they weren't like muscle dudes doing flips and all that. People today aren't as ready to accept the ridiculousness of the gimmicks and just the outcomes that could never have happened in real life. And so it's evolved into the wrestlers pretty much just being themselves because it just seems more authentic. But I was a 90s kid, so I was into those corny gimmicks and those just stupid outcomes. I never stopped to ask myself, why is this guy just standing there waiting to get hit? Why doesn't he just move and then punch the guy in the face? So when my dad told us that wrestling was fake, I was really heartbroken. I'll never forget it, man. I was 10. I was the biggest Hulkamaniac you could find. I was a Hulkamaniac times 10. You probably could not find a black kid who looked up to a white man more than I did since Webster. And it all happened because I saw Hulk Hogan lose the title to The Undertaker at Survivor Series. The day before Thanksgiving, I asked my mom if we could order Survivor Series on pay-per-view. And I already knew that she was gonna say no. Because, it was always no. But, but I just needed to do my due diligence. Because at the end of the day, what was the worst that was gonna happen? She was gonna say what she always said and I was gonna go on about my business. But this time she actually said yes. So I couldn't contain myself. I'm super hyped because I'm actually gonna be able to witness it. I'm gonna be able to watch it for myself and not have to just hear about it from my friends. I'm gonna be able to see Hulk Hogan finally put it into this tall, scary dude, put him in his place, and it was gonna be dope. First of all, they didn't even really do singles matches at Survivor Series. Usually it was 4-on-4 or 5-on-5. It's the good guys versus the bad guys. They put it as so none of the bad guys that didn't have anything to do with some of the other feuds is they made it seem like they couldn't be friends with any of the the good guys. The baby faces and the heels is what they call them. And so it was just they're Tyler Perry characters. They're either all good or all bad. That's pretty much what wrestling was. So I'm thinking this is gonna be special. Yeah, it was special, all right. It was my first pay-per-view. I'm so excited, and it ends up being like the biggest disappointment of my life up to that point. Like, Hogan lost to The Undertaker that night. He lost. Hulk Hogan never loses. He never loses. He actually lost the title at Survivor Series. Like, I was devastated. Like, even the thing that he does with the, you know, like he's like, you know, you start hitting him and he can't feel it no more. He starts walking around the ring. He's doing it like it didn't work. Like it literally didn't work. He got tombstoned and pinned. So here I am. I'm like distraught, and Bobby Heenan is screaming over and over on TV, Hulkamania's dead! Hulkamania's dead! It was so real to me. Like, I'm crying real tears. So my dad comes in the living room. He sees what's going on the TV. He starts laughing. And he's like, it isn't real anyway. He wasn't even trying to burst our bubble. He was like giving good perspective. Like, I wasn't ready to know that. Fast forward to the late 90s, and even though I know that the storylines aren't real, I went out of my way to say storylines out of respect for the entertainment that the athletes actually do. Like, you know, these are like real moves that they do. Like, they're just not angry with one another. They sacrifice their bodies, and that means something. Well, I always like to believe that some part of it was real, especially during what wrestling fans refer to as the Monday Night Wars, where it was WWE and WCW just going back and forth, trying to, beat each other for viewership supremacy. Generation X was one of my favorite factions of all time. Not the Shawn Michaels Degeneration X. That, I mean, like, until he came back later on. But I mean, like, Triple H, who's also actually my favorite heel of all time. Triple H, he's that guy. So it was like Triple H, China, the New Age Outlaws, and X-Pac, formerly the 1-2-3 Kid. Later turned into 6 in the NWO. But that was the best iteration of DX. Like, they were doing and saying all this stuff that you weren't supposed to do and say on TV. So it was like, it was cool to hate them, but also to like them at the same time. Even today, I have friends and stuff that say, you still watch wrestling? Yes, I still watch wrestling. If you ain't down with that, I got 2 words for you. I don't know how I'm gonna cut that up. Suck it. But yeah, that's it. So, DX. Hopefully it was, got Generation X. It's nostalgic. It is what it is. At least it recorded this time. Good Lord.